Good evening everyone. So if you're the type of person that has full resolve stacks and wants to use an Adeptus Temptation and add a bit of spicy electric oil to your attacks so that you can take the poor Primo Geovishap and do some big large number damage on him, then this video is not going to be for you. So the big problem I've got with the Genshin community is that there's a big focus on the amount of single target damage that a lot of characters, including the Raiden Shogun, does. And a lot of people will use that as a justification to say, well, this character needs a buff, her damage is not enough. And I think that is very misleading. And I'm not just talking about the fact that I've got a C6R5 Raiden Shogun, which is absolutely cracked and does insane damage. I'm actually now talking about a free-to-play C0 Raiden Shogun, and why even at C0 she's absolutely fine. What you'll see on screen is me playing on my alt account. I've got a C0 level 40 Raiden Shogun with a level 20 weapon in a level 60 Spiral Abyss. So why am I putting her here? What you'll see in the background is you've got a Sucrose doing her burst, the Rosaria doing her burst, Xingshu's burst being up, and then the Raiden Shogun doing damage. Immediately what you'll notice is that in spite of the fact that my team is relatively underpowered, it's the fact that they're doing area of effect, or in other words AOE damage, which is ultimately what enables them to clear this abyss floor in a very reasonable time for someone that is, I think, AR 32 or something on this account. The entire principle behind area of effect damage is that you use a hero, let's say like your Xingshu, as you'll see on screen. I pop his Q and then I swap off, but while I'm swapped off, I'm still doing damage. Now I'm putting Rosaria and her E is going to do damage, and then we've got the Raiden Shogun whose E does damage, and her Elemental Burst, which has a very wide area to attack and hit just like her E, is also doing damage. So what you've got is, instead of one big number, you've got lots of small numbers adding up over time, and people underestimate the power of AOE damage. And so a lot of people will look at the single target damage that the Raiden Shogun does and say, well, her multipliers are too low, but it's for a good reason that they're low, because if they're way too high, then she'll not just become borderline broken, she'll become the best character ever in this game. I think people are too concerned about seeing one big number. So for instance, on this account, if I use Klee in this very same Abyss, which is my best built character, one charge attack from her does about 2,000 to 3,000 damage. But if you can see here, I've got lots of small little numbers. I've got a 200, a 100, a 500, an 800. But if you start adding up all these small little numbers, the damage is absolutely insane. And while this is going on, you can see Raiden's E is still hitting. It's still hitting the enemies. So you might say, well, the Raiden Shogun is not really getting her ult up. But I mean, you've got to realize this is a poorly built, and I'll show the built in a minute, zero energy recharge kind of Raiden Shogun, so it obviously takes time. But once you're at level 90, where like most people are, your Raiden Shogun will get her ult up almost immediately, which means she'll be constantly be able to do this area of effect damage, which is so prominent in something like the national team, which is Bennett, Xingshu, Xiangling, and let's say Chongyun, and there's a couple of variations on this. If you pair the Raiden Shogun with a few characters that do AOE damage, it's insanely broken. If you pair her with Kujo Sara, which essentially gives you a lot of attack buffs constantly, then you've got an AOE attacker, you've got an AOE buffer, and if you now add in some more damage, it's just absolutely insane. I think people do not understand cumulative effects. And what makes the Raiden Shogun broken, in my opinion, is the fact that her, I think it's wishes unnumbered or something, this one of her talents essentially gives her a 0.4% energy electro damage bonus for every energy level that she's got above 100. Now that's insanely broken because there's A, no cap on it, and B, it means you don't need to run any electro damage goblets. I did try running electro damage, and ultimately what I found is I'm doing less damage by stacking too much electro damage bonus. It's way better just to stack energy recharge and get the electro damage bonus for free. But not only that, The Raiden Shogun's own energy restoration from using her ult is also boost. In other words, this character will almost have her ultimate up constantly. Unfortunately, the current Abyss doesn't do it justice, but if we didn't have this stupid low tide and high tide mechanic, she would have had her elemental burst up right now, which means I can now swap off to another character like this, and then I should be able to, you can see here she's got it again. It's just absolutely insane. So this constant burst or ult spamming is actually broken. I don't think people understand that you've got burst spamming and AOE damage, and I think MiHoYo has done the multipliers correctly, because if they didn't do it, this character would be truly broken. She's borderline broken. She doesn't need a buff, especially at C0, and yeah, in my experience, I think she is a fantastic character that is currently being slept on. So just give it a while, give it a couple of weeks, and you'll start seeing exactly how powerful this chick can be. So I'll just end off with what you can see on screen, and yeah, just note she's got her ult back.